Hi, welcome to Health Sidekick. In this video, we're going to be going over what a moving average or AVG is. That's titled 7-day, 14-day AVG, 30-day AVG. So what's a moving average and how to use them to identify when you could potentially be getting into an alert situation where you might make an adjustment, and how you for weight loss. So what a moving average is all a moving average is it tells me what my average was over a certain day for over a certain period of time. So for example, if I click on my 60-day AVG, this is telling me that on an average over those 60 days on a daily basis, I averaged 2,009 calories consumed. I averaged daily 417 calories burning exercise, and I had a 1,592 net calories, and I did 7 minutes of mental activity daily, and I did 81 minutes of spiritual activity daily. That's all it means. And it says that when I did this, it translated into me losing 0.48 tenths of a pound over a 60-day period. So that's what a moving average does. The whole concept is that it allows you to take what we do, because our body fluctuates so much over periods of time for a variety of different reasons. It's a good idea to average out all that stuff that you do, and that's what moving averages do. That's what the AVG does. So how do you use them for weight loss? The best thing that you can do from a weight loss standpoint is to take a look at the shorter term weight loss, this 30-day, the 7-day AVGs as alerts. What am I doing wrong? What this what I'm doing right. So what am I doing wrong to go ahead and increase my weight? Because what this tells me right here is that in this 7-day average over the last 7 days, I've weighed on an average over those 7 days, I've weighed 2.5 pounds more than I weighed in the last 7 days. So okay, I can take that as one part of the puzzle. The next puzzle is my 14-day average that says that over the last 14 days, I've weighed 0.35 higher, 0.35 tenths of a pound higher than I did in the previous 14 days by doing this activity. And I can look at this from a standpoint of saying, okay, so I gained weight in both of those periods. What's going on? Because in this period of time, I gained 2.5, let's say, and in this period of time, I gained 0.35 over the last 4 tenths, and I was doing about the same amount of spiritual, mental, and physical activity as far as work-wise, right? My equation to overall health is about the same as it is in my 7-day as it is in my 14-day. If I go and look at, and I want to point this out, if I go and look at my 30-day AVG, I can say that I actually lost weight in this time period. So over the last 30 days, I weighed less than the previous 30 days doing this particular equation, which looks fairly similar to this equation, right? They look fairly similar. And in my 60-day, I actually was eating a little bit more in calories and doing about the same mental and spiritual, and I lost 0.48 tenths of a pound. So the good news is what I can gather from these moving averages is that overall, on a longer term basis, I'm progressing in the spot that I want to go to, which is 174. This would be the target weight, right? So I'm progressing in the right direction on my longer term AVGs, and these are really what's really important. In the 7 and 14-day AVGs, we're going to have fluctuations, and that's why it's so crazy to even though I will weigh myself on a daily basis because the more data points I have in the software, the better. Even though I'll do that, my day-to-day weigh-in isn't that important. Today I weighed in, for example, down 1.8 pounds from yesterday, or 174.8. Well, that's not as important to me to recognize that what am I doing over the last 60 days, over the last 30 days, over the last 6 months and year? Am I progressing long-term on my goals? Because that's the real trick when it comes to losing weight and gaining health and putting a program in place that you can live with long-term. Because as we know, anybody can lose weight. But most people have done it. lost weight on a short-term basis. The biggest thing that you can do, and the thing that most of us desire to do, is to maintain or keep progressing towards a longer-term goal. So on the 14 and 7 day, whenever I see this type of movement in my 7 and 14 day activities, what I have to do is I have to go then and evaluate and get a little bit deeper. If in fact on my 30 day I show a loss doing almost the same equation as I was doing before, then something has occurred in this 14 or 7 day time period that isn't registering up in this particular equation. So I have to go and I have to look at deeper what I was doing. And how do I do that? Is I start looking at the variables inside each of these calories consumed. Well, over that 7 day period, what was I eating? Over the 14 day period, what was I eating? Over the last 30 days, what was I eating? Now, very easily I can go to my, I can scroll down to my ranking on my ranking, and I can click on Health Psyche Community Ranking, or I could go to my ranking, and I could click, for example, on my top days, and I can see those were my top days, right? So I can easily look and see what I was eating, what I was doing, and I can also look at my top weeks. But right now I want to go and I want to evaluate what I was eating or what exercise I was doing. Something in this equation on my 7 and 14 day was changed. When I went and I evaluated this and I looked at my historical log, and I can easily do that by going off and saying, okay, the last 14 days, I want to see what happened, and I can search, and then I can easily click on my averages, and I can see the foods I was eating, and I'll notice as I go through here, I actually was eating a new ice cream that it looks like has more calories in it than actually was stated on the carton, which was translated into about 200 to 300 calories more each day, which translated into the overall weight loss. So again, that evaluation to then say, well, I can stop doing that, and now I can get back to getting back even into my short-term averages. I can get down into those levels of where I'm losing weight and showing progression in those. Remember, most of us, I would say almost all of us, we have some kind of blank spots when it comes to food. You know, we might stop logging food. Something happens where we seem to be doing everything the same, but yet we're gaining weight. If we dive into it a little bit further and start doing an evaluation of what changed in one of these, what are the variables that changed in these situations, the spiritual, mental, net calories, calories burned, calories consumed, usually we'll find out what happened and then be able to get back on track. But if you're constantly looking at your 30, 60, and your longer term and looking at these averages, these are going to be the things that really keep you on track and progressing towards your goals. Hope this helps.